So in the past video, I showed you how I found an expired domain. So the idea behind the expired domain is to actually have it indexed on Google again, and then eventually after a couple of months, maybe 6 months, redirect it back to my rank and rent website and hopefully pass on over some link juice. So the method that I'm gonna use and test out is to recover the old, expired domain, the old website in a very simple way. Instead of using a service or instead of actually building this elaborate website, I'm gonna do a very basic static website and then hopefully have it indexed by Google. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna search by the domain, the expired domain, and then find the earliest or the latest rather active site. So I'm just gonna go through some of these and then see. I know that 2023 is not anything, so this one so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy all the content. For this specific example, it doesn't really have that much content, but then I'm gonna pass it, and I already did this. I'm just gonna pass it into ChatGPT, say, give it this content, please generate me HTML and CSS template. And then ChatGPT is gonna generate all of this. You can simply just copy it. So I'm just gonna do an index.html here, just copy it in, and then let's see how it looks like. So now it just looks like this, and actually I know this doesn't look good. You can do a little bit more with it. I'll show you an example of what I did with another one. So this is an example of a similar website I did for an expired domain. And what I do is I just have this very simple template, and then I use AWS to actually store the template. So I have this bucket here, and you can see here it just stores the index HTML. So whenever someone goes on to that domain, it will actually just show the template. So that's sort of the very simple way of doing it. And I'm gonna report back, eventually when I see if this is gonna be indexed or not, and then just show the results. And then eventually, if it actually will be indexed, I'll start to redirect it over to the new site. Eventually, maybe not in the start, but eventually I'll do redirect it. If it actually starts to get a lot of traffic, I doubt it will, well then I'm probably gonna do it as its own rank and rent website. All right, so what I'm gonna recommend you is to go to this tutorial and just simply following along. I'm gonna follow along this tutorial and show you exactly how actually to do it on AWS. So first we're gonna start by creating a new bucket. And then you have to make the bucket name exactly as the domain name. And then you remove block all public access, because this is going to be will have public access actually. Just click acknowledge. You can disable this. You don't need any tags. All of this you can keep it as is. Then you're going to go to properties, and then all the way in the bottom you have this static website hosting. So you can't see that. So we have that. Let me just make it. There we go. So all the way in the bottom here, you can see here it says static website hosting. So you simply just click edit and then enable it. And then you wanna do index.html for the index document. Everything else you can leave blank. So in step 3, you need to remove all. You have to not block all public access, but if you follow the previous step, you already did that, so you can skip that one. And then you need to add a bucket policy. So you need to go into this tutorial and make sure to leave a link here in the description, and simply just paste this these strings here in here to the bucket policy. Just click edit, then pass it in, and then you have to put the bucket name here to the domain. Then save change. And then you need to go to the object and actually upload your index document. And then if you go to properties in your bucket and then scroll all the way down, you should have this endpoint here. If you just go and copy the link and then see if your HTML template is available. So you can see here my very, very beautiful template, which exactly the same that I showed you just before. Now, what you want to do is, instead of actually showing it on this, weird URL, now you can't see it, let me just show. So instead of showing it like this, you want to actually use the same domain, right? So that's sort of the next step. So start by creating a new DNS record, and then www, and then in the value you pass in the URL, but remove the HTTP and remove the ending slash. So it has to look like this, and then obviously with your own information here, and then just create a new DNS record. Then create a new one. That's gonna be an alias if you have that, and then put it to 10 minutes if you have, or earlier. And here in the name, you just do an @ symbol like this, and then create new DNS record. And that's actually all there is to it. So now you just have to wait, depending on how long time it takes to propagate all the DNS settings. But for me, it's probably gonna take like, I don't know, 10 minutes, something like that. Now, the only downside by doing this method is by default, it's not gonna have HTTPS. So this is kind of out of the scope for this video, but I might do another video about how to apply HTTPS to the URL. So for now, it's just going to be HTTP, but it is possible to do it through AWS as well. So for that, you need to use their CloudFront CDN. So it's basically just going to serve the same data, but on a secure channel. But it's out of the scope for this video. I might do it later. So leave a comment if this is something you want to see, and then I'm going to make a video. Cheers.